Hiya crafters, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today's card is going to be actually modifying an already finished card because I need a card kind of custom in a pinch. So what I'm showing you here is one of my 2 containers of finished cards. And what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, but I'm going to shop my cards that are already made and see which options I have to customize it. So I'm finding myself in a situation where I need a specific card that I don't already have on hand, and it's a little bit unique. So my husband started a new job the end of last year, and the creator of the company, or the owner of the company, is kind of stepping back. So he's not retiring, but he's demoting himself. And we're having a party to celebrate his demotion. So it's kind of like a retirement, but not. So I need to make a custom card. If you can believe it, I don't actually have any retirement stamps, or if I do, I couldn't find them quickly. So what I've opted to do here is shop these congratulations or best wishes, or you can see I have various different cards there. I decided to use this one, a job well done, because it's kind of a funny, cute pun. I decided to use that one versus a congratulation, and then just kind of create my own custom sentiment. So if you're in a pinch and you need a very custom card, I suggest you shop your cards that you already have. Maybe you have something you can modify or customize. I'm just going to kind of talk through, as you can see what I'm doing here. It's just some basic stamping. But I want to talk to you about some tips and tricks to maybe kind of use what you have on hand or save some time with some pre-batched items. So maybe you don't have a fully made card to choose from like this, but maybe you have backgrounds that are already made. Bust out that background batch, or maybe you've got some die cut sentiments that will already work. So think about ways that you can save time if you need something in a pinch. In this case, that Hero Arts stamp said congratulations on your, so I thought, well, that's easy. I can tie the congrats in it, and then I'll just manually stamp demotion with that, Concord and Ninth stamp set. So I knew it was going to be a little bit fussy. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm using my Misty, but I'm also using a sheet of plastic to make sure that it looks good before I stamp it down. Now, here I realized it was going to be even more fussy because these are all individual letters. And I know I can kind of squish them next to each other. I could have freehand stamped this, which I often do. But since I was already working on this pre-finished card, and I had already done this much work, I didn't want to risk it. So I thought I would actually use the Misty. Now I spent all this time right here with these fiddly little letters. And you'll see in a moment what I ended up doing. It was all a little bit frustrating. And to be honest, it ends up a little bit wonky in the end. But you know what? That's okay. It's still a handmade card. And it's still kind of a weird card. I mean, it's not like you are going to have a stamp that talks about demotions. It's not like it's a stamp I'm going to have in my stash. So I'm sure it'll be appreciated. I don't know if I cut out the footage, but that piece of plastic actually picked up all those instead of my Misty door, and I had to start all over again. I did use the letter Q. That's a little tip. If you need to use a letter twice, use a similar shaped letter in its place to kind of gauge the spacing. You can also do that with die cutting. But I just basically used the Q to kind of, create the right amount of space for the O. And again, I'm just kind of having to readjust and move the card base just a little bit to make sure everything's lined up. And again, everything is wonky. And then when I stamped this last O, of course, I think I pushed a little too hard and it made it all fat. It looks like a donut. So here I'm going back in and restamping the O and kind of making that one look like a donut. So at least the O's match. So again, the spacing isn't great. It's not my favorite. I've got a thumbprint here that I'm trying to, get off. But at the end of the day, I'm sure they'll appreciate the card. Like I said, I don't have a stamp that says demotion. I couldn't even find any that said, retirement. But this is a way to save time if you need something quick. Think of ways that you can customize, or maybe when you're making your next batch of cards, maybe leave a sentiment off entirely. I know a lot of us do that as well, just so we kind of can customize it later. But this ended up okay. I will link the video where I created that card in the related video and also below. So be sure to check that out. And if you found this helpful, please hit the thumbs up, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.